Hey Math 1 students, this is Mr. Flynn. Here's our lesson for Tuesday, April 7th. We're going to be classifying our triangles. We're going to classify triangles by either their angle measure or the size, the length of their sides. And then we're going to be dealing with the area of a triangle. So classifying we've done a little bit before, but I just want to review real quick. And then area we're going to hit a little harder today, okay, in practice. So whenever we classify triangles by their angles, so a triangle and their angles, we know that we have what's called an acute triangle. I'll put a little triangle symbol there. We have a right triangle, or we have what's called an obtuse triangle. Okay? So an acute triangle, all angles are less than 90 degrees. In a right triangle, 1 equals 90 degrees. In an obtuse, one angle is greater than 90. So those are our three ways, okay? Then if we're looking at the sides, and I'll kind of give myself some room up here. So we want triangles and their sides. Oops, sorry about that. And maybe I'll do it down here. We know that there's what's called a scalene. We know there's called an isosceles. And there's one that's called equilateral. And if you remember, in a scalene, all three different sizes. Okay, let me get a different color here now. Isosceles, two sides have equal measure, and an equilateral, all three sides are equal to each other. So I've abbreviated that pretty quick, all right? So with that said, keeping that in mind, and you can always go back and look at your old notes, we're going to look at number 1. First off, number 1 has a 90-degree angle, so we know that this is a right triangle. It's a right triangle. So now we just did it by its angle. Now we got to decide by its sides. So we have 5.3 is one measure, 2.7 is another measure, and 6.4 is another measure. So all three sides are different, so that's called scalene. Okay? So notice we have each one is going to be classified two different ways. Okay? One by the angles and one by the sides. So if we look at number 2, each angle is 60, 60, 60. So if we're looking at the angle measures, they're all less than 90 degrees. So this is an acute. Let me do this differently. This is acute. I did it again. Triangle. And then all three sides are the same measure. So that's called equilateral. All right, so you need to go through the next 8 and decide what 2 classifications they are, okay? Not too hard. But then we're going to come back here to the area of each triangle. And if you remember, the area of a triangle, okay, so the area equals 1/2 the base times the height. Now what we have to realize is we need to look at where the height comes from and where the base is. The base is not always the bottom. Okay, so if we look at number 12, we have this red dotted line. That is telling you how tall the triangle is. That is the height. That is the H in our formula, okay? So you'll see that. So if we look at number 1, look at how it is. The red dotted line is this way. Is this way. So there's the height, okay? In number 13, the red dotted line is this way. That's the height. And then on number 14, it's outside the triangle. There's the height. It's how tall the triangle is. But It's only how tall compared to what the base is. Notice in number 12, okay, we have, this is the height, 6.2, but that's the base down here. So the base and the height form a right angle all the time, okay? So notice, on number 1, the base is over here. This is the base, because this is the height, and it forms a right angle, okay? All we do is take the red, and that goes into the H, and the base, that goes into the B, and then we work it out. That's all it is, okay? So let's do a little bit of work. Let's see what we get. All right. You're going to need your calculator. All right. So on number 11, okay, the area, I always rewrite the formula, equals 1/2 the base times the height. I always rewrite it, just kind of good practice. So the area will equal 1/2 times the base, which is 5, times the height, which is 3.7. Okay, so we also know that 1/2 equals 0.5. Okay, so I'm going to pull out my calculator. I'm going to clear it off. I'm going to take 1/2 times 5 times 3.7, and I get the area equals 9.25. Now these are feet, and area is always squared. You're done. Okay, you're absolutely done. Not too hard. Now notice it doesn't tell us to round to the nearest 10th or 100th or whatever, so we're just going to do the work, and we're going to leave our answer. Probably they're all going to either be to the 100th, to the 10th, or a whole number, depending on what they come out to be. All right, give myself some room over here, and I'll do number 2. So again, area of a triangle. So A equals 1/2 B times H. Remember, these are multiplied. So the base is 11. So A equals 1/2 times 11 times the height. That's that red dotted line, 6.2. So clear off my calculator. 1/2 times 11 times 6.2 equals 34.1. And again, these are feet squared. I'm going to look to see if you have the right label and that you have that square on there. Remember, when it's area, we always put that square on there. Okay? Now, I've done 4 of these for you. I think it's 4 of them. I did 2 up here, 2 down here. You can do the rest. The key is down here. You shouldn't have a problem with it. But if you do, you can let Miss Bonilla know, Miss Castillo know, or me. You can let me know. Please do me a favor, submit these. You need to submit these assignments. Some people are doing them. I see you're doing the work, but you're not submitting them. All I'm going to do is, if you do all the work, I'm going to give you a 4 out of 4. Like, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. I'll give you a 4, and I'll say, great job. That's all I'm going to do. I just want to make sure you're doing it. I can tell that you're on there. I can tell you're looking at them online, but some of you are not submitting them, and maybe you don't know how, and we have to go through that. Be on the lookout for our Zoom meeting. I'll give you more information in the upcoming